Welcome, star tourists, to Geek Salad's retro movie reviews from the Geek Salad podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Todd.
Yay! And tonight we have our special guest back again. We've got the lovely Miss Jonna, and from the Black Girls Do Stuff Too podcast, the lovely Miss Nik.
Hi.
Hey. Woo! So she's back. She wasn't here last week, and I'm happy to have you back for this one.
I'm glad to be back, honestly.
Yeah,
I love coming on with you guys.
Oh, this will be a fun discussion, I think, because with Hollywood Studios, I had forgotten how few rides there actually are in the park. It almost shows. So we've decided that we're going to take all of the shows of Walt Disney World and kind of have a discussion on those at a later date.
Cool.
But yeah. Also, that is why there was no poll this week for you to pick like the ancillary too, because again, we would have been left with that what's the Toy Story Land one with the aliens, the saucer swirl.
Yeah, which I think Nik and you are the only one that have done that one.
Actually, Nik may have been the only one to have done that one because I was taking my daughter to Rock and Roller Coaster. Well, my wife stood in the hot Florida sun with my son because there's no shady area at all in Toy Story Land. Not one bit. So before we begin, as we are wont to do when we have a guest podcaster on our show, Nik, give us your mission statement. What is Black Girls Do Stuff Too all about?
So if you guys haven't seen us before, as I always say, it's really a place where we could lend our voices as Black women, Black girls, to areas that we kind of never saw ourselves: comic books, TVs, movies, pop culture, and lifestyle, and not just within like a certain niche category, but in general. And so we started the podcast. We write, and I do things like this and come on Geek Salad, which is awesome. And, just expanding and kind of giving that perspective across the board.
And you just released something this week, right?
I did. So for those who don't know, I am a food blogger also, and food and lifestyle blogger. And I just released my first cookbook. Super excited about that. The sales have been going really well. So thank you guys. And if you're interested, I'll post it somewhere I haven't really posted on the podcast side. So I'll post it and you guys can find it for us.
Nik, send me the link and I'll put it in the show description.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, not a problem. Woo. So that is some great news. And now we talk about Hollywood Studios. The third gate to open in 1989, I believe. It was brand new, like brand spanking new when I went to Disney my senior year of high school. But we didn't go because we were only there for the day. So it was just like straight up Magic Kingdom.
Yep, opened May 1st, 1989 as Disney's MGM Studios.
Yep. And show of hands, who still calls it MGM Studios? I'm looking at you directly at you, Todd. Yep. Jonna, how about you?
Sometime.
I never knew it as anything but Hollywood Studios because the first time I went was in 2014.
Okay. Because I know our friend Julie still refers to it as MGM. And now she's a Florida resident, so she should freaking know better.
Yeah, she lives within a very short driving distance from Disney World.
Yeah.
So that's just plain stubbornness.
Yeah. That's just, we all know Julie. We all know she doesn't change her mind very easily on anything.
No, she does not.
All right. So why don't we get started on, we each, just as we've done the last few weeks, we each pick one ride and then we can all kind of hop on the conversation. So Nik, we'll start with you. What was your pick for the Hollywood Studios ride?
Yeah, no? So I went with the Slinky Dog coaster, which is in Toy Story Land, which we talked about before. And it honestly, I picked it because it was the second one. I remember three things from Hollywood Studios, and that was Tower of Terror, Slinky Dog Coaster, and the American Idol Experience. And one was taken, I think, and one was not existing anymore. And so my niece and I actually rode the Slinky Dog Coaster. And I just remember it being like, I'm a big roller coaster person, so for me it was kind of like a chill experience. But she had a blast, so I think that's all that matters when you take a kid with you to Disney World, is that the kid has a good time. So for her, it was like the most exhilarating thing she had ever experienced, and I think that was like really cool and like a great memory for us.
It is a fun. It's deceptively fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do a great job integrating the theming of the actual character of Slinky Dog into the roller coaster, which is really neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like his whole body. And at the time that I rode the roller coaster, I had actually not seen Toy Story. I only watched all the Toy Stories earlier this year, so I didn't have like a reference or like a connection to Toy Story itself. She had seen them, but I hadn't. So, she was really, really into it. And I think now that I've seen all the Toy Stories, if I went back, I would be like so much more into Toy Story Land, because I love Toy Story now. Like, I'm late, but I love it. So it's okay.
Anyone's thoughts on Toy Story? Toy Story. Slinky Dog Dash?
It looks great from everything I've seen on YouTube. I haven't had a chance to ride it yet.
Okay.
Kind of between Barnstormer and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, like in terms of intensity. Good for kids.
It'll be fine for kids. My son was front and center. He loved it. Good. And he's a year younger than your daughter. But
I think that's a good play for Hollywood Studios. Hey, I'm learning. Just because a lot of the rides that are there are pretty intense. So it was a smart move for them to put in something a little more mild for kids who might, think Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster are too much.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of the intensity of the ride is it's right in between the two rides that you mentioned, Seven Dwarfs and the Barnstormer, because it's very child friendly. It's outdoors. There's no huge dips, which is also really cool. And the fact that you actually get the countdown so you can just rock it out is really a lot of fun.
That's great.
And I'll tell you, if it rains, you will get your Fast Pass delayed. I highly advise you Fast Pass this ride, because when we were at our 60-day, it was, I think, the third ride I had Fast Pass, and the earliest available was like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And it kept getting pushed back because, sorry, it's raining, can't come on it. It's raining, can't come on it. So about 6:30, we finally got on the ride, and just worth the wait. So
it's stuck out of my mind.
John, have you or Mike ridden this? Mike, have you ridden this ride?
It wasn't even in existence when we were last there.
Okay.
No, but I saw that they had to take the springs off the tails because they were getting too much vibration, which was a little sad because he's Slinky. He should have the springs.
Yeah, but I think because you don't want that whipping like the back of somebody's head.
I know.
Well, there's some people you would want that.
Yeah.
Since it doesn't have any deep drops, you don't have any excuses, Mike, not to go on it.
Oh, trust me, I'll come up with excuses.
Mike, it is as smooth as Crisco. It really is. It is
so easy. It's so smooth.
Yeah, exactly. It's not jerky at all, and because there's no huge dips, it's all the sideways rails. So, I think you could handle this one. This is a very easy coaster.
You got this, Mike.
We'll see.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I don't yet.
No, okay. Mike, I'll pray the rosary for you, man. That's how deep I'll go to get you on that ride. Hail Mary, Hail
Often
Mary,
you did something like that.
All right, Jonna. What about you? What is your pick?
Okay.
I think she froze up.
That is the classic, the original. We had one out here for a while, but ours has become Guardians of the Galaxy. And, you know, the one in Florida retains its original creepy Twilight Zone-ness, which you're walking into a ghost story. And then you get what isn't actually a free fall, but it feels about as close as you're gonna get. And if you're an adrenaline junkie, you're gonna love it.
I love this. I think this was your alternate, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm just asking questions now. Yeah, it's now. Is this like a must do for you, Jonna? Like every time you go, which I know hasn't been much lately, but
it kind of is. You know, I love the theming. You walk in and it's that creepy old hotel. Everything's cobwebby, and there's that overgrown feel about the gardens, and it sucks you in.
Yeah.
And then, you know, anytime you've got Rod Serling's voice, you know you're walking into something that's going to make shivers go up and down your spine. And that's before you even get on the ride.
Yeah,
John, I agree with you. The theming of the whole experience is amazing. Like walking into the hotel itself, into the lobby, seeing the cobwebs, seeing, you know, all the Easter eggs that they have in there. It's amazing. And then you go start the ride and you see the Twilight Zone video. You come out on the other side, you're in that creepy boiler room where you wait to get on the service elevator. It's unbelievable. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get on the ride itself, it sucks you into basically that star feel. You see the ghostly figures of the people who disappeared so many years before, and then they vanish, and you're sucked into that star field, and there's nothing. You're surrounded by nothingness because you've just gone into the Twilight Zone.
Amazing. Using some of the same effects as the Haunted Mansion. The Pepper's Ghost, the things like that. It's, you know, they use the same stuff.
Yeah.
Great ride.
Yeah, it works. It works well.
It's a really interesting ride too. Well, first of all, the cool thing is that this has now become like the centerpiece of the Hollywood studios. Like you've got Cinderella's Castle for Magic Kingdom. You've got Spaceship Earth for Epcot. You've got the Tree of Life for Animal Kingdom. And it's like they ran out of everything else. It's like, okay, it'll be the Mickey Mouse hat. Nope, gone. It'll be the Grauman's Chinese Theater. Nope, gone.
Well, technically that theater's still there, but it's a Mickey Mouse ride now, not
right, exactly.
Nothing to do with movies anymore.
That's awesome.
But I know, Todd, we probably told you the story. I probably told Mike this story as well. But when we went last year, we went on May the 4th be with you. So family, all dressed in our Star Wars gear. And Autumn got this shirt. And it's the Hamilton star. But instead of Alexander Hamilton, it's Princess Leia. And it says General. And the theming of this ride is so cool that like everybody's in character and everyone's just trying to be creepy. All dropped character the second they saw that shirt because they had to compliment her on that shirt.
Nice.
Disney magic. I don't think you know what the weird thing is? I thought that the drop was going to be what hurt my stomach. It was going back up. I had never ridden that until last year. My stomach was not prepared. It was like, okay, you're going to sink a little bit. That'll be fine. Nope. It's when they bring you back up.
Well, because the drop isn't just a free fall. It's they pull you down.
Oh, yeah. It's faster than gravity would have dropped you.
It's great.
Right.
Have you ever held a quarter or a dime in your hand? Have you ever done that trick? Well, I mean, if you just wrote it last year, you wouldn't have. But it's never worked for me. But you hold a coin in your hand, and when you go down, the coin will lift up off your hand because it doesn't fall at the same rate. It's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
I love this ride. It's a single rider line for me, so I ride it every time I'm there.
I was doing like a mental inventory of what I had just eaten at 50s prime time. Like, oh boy, why did I get the sampler bladder? Why did I get the sampler bladder?
It's trying to come back up.
They bullied you into finishing it. That's why.
Yeah. Nik, you've ridden this one. What are your thoughts on Tower of Terror? That's a hard word to say too. Tower of Terror.
Yeah, it's like when I think of like my Disney experience, the first time I went as a kid, that I remember two things: it's the alien encounter that doesn't exist anymore, that like scarred me for life, and it's Tower of Terror. And Tower of Terror is my favorite ride, maybe of any park, just because it is so theatrical, and I love drops, so I like that feeling of falling. So it was like crazy, and my parents never buy pictures, like souvenir pictures of rides, but all of us look so crazy. It's the one souvenir that we have from that trip. And when we went back, when we took my niece, I don't know how it happened because she shouldn't have been tall enough to get on, but she got on anyway. And I was like, why would we do this to her at such a young age? But we did. And like she wrote it and she was terrified. But once she like calmed down, she was like, I want to do it again. And I was like, that's my niece.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, this is a fantastic ride. I really enjoyed this one. I look forward to eventually getting back onto it.
I have gone on this one, you know.
You have gone on this one, Mike.
Yeah. Jonna dragged me onto it because I believe her exact words were, "It's not that bad." Yeah, it was. It really was.
My mother rode Tower of Terror.
Yeah, well, she's got a stronger stomach than I do then.
Oh. I kind of want to say, Mike, that after we're on the other side of all this and we're allowed to go to amusement parks again, I really feel like you and I need to have an 80s montage style day of me just getting you through the intense rides. So the next time you go to California, you're like, I'm going on that. I'm your man, Jonna. I'm going on that ride.
No, it'd be an 80s montage of you going,
We should do limit.
And be like, no. Then you riding up and be like,
fine, Mike, hold my purse.
Oh, that's my job whenever Jonna goes on that ride.
Designated purse holder.
Yep. And I do a fine job, don't I, Jonna?
She actually gives you the cast member shout out on Twitter afterwards. So. Mike was excellent at holding my purse. Okay, so who wants to go next? There's
He's very good at holding.
What's that? I'm sorry, John. What'd you say?
I said he's very good at holding purses. So
okay.
He's got a job.
Yeah. I don't know, Mike.
Yeah.
You and me at Six Flags, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go with you to Six Flags, but you can ride all the roller coasters. I'll just stand there and watch you have fun.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I'm confident enough in my masculinity.
Okay. Good. So who wants to go next? Mike, you want to go next?
Yeah,
Todd?
sure.
Me? All right.
What was my pick? Oh yes, yes.
All
my
right.
pick was
Mike is technically kind of cheating, but it still fits. So we're gonna let slide.
Yeah, my pick is the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
How'd you fit in that thing?
Very carefully.
Okay. Pin particles.
Yeah. Technically, I haven't ridden on the one in Hollywood Studios, but I have ridden on the one in California Adventure, and it's essentially the same ride. So I know what it's like. It is just a beyond fun ride. I mean, when you get on, first off, you walk onto the Millennium Falcon. I mean, you walk past the chessboard, you see like the bunks. It is just the coolest. I mean, you're just like standing in that area as they hand out like all the cards, and they hand you either like a card with a color on it and a job on it. You're either a pilot, a gunner, or an engineer. Whoa. That was weird.
What happened?
Well, you were there for a moment because like your camera froze, and then when it unfroze, you were gone. So you just vanished.
Aha! Well, I was just getting this labor of love right here.
Yeah, well, this was not a labor of love, but it was a gift of love.
Oh, yes. No, 2 days it took me and my daughter to put this thing together.
I feel like I don't have a Millennium Falcon to play with.
Oh,
I'm sure you got a picture of it somewhere around there.
Somewhere.
Yeah. But looks like we lost Nik.
I think she's there, but she just muted her photo.
Oh, okay.
Video.
Anyway,
she's getting Millennium Falcon.
Anyway, and then when your color is called, you have a group of 6 people, and they're all ushered onto, and you walk onto the Millennium Falcon cockpit, and then pilots sit in the front, gunners sit in the middle, engineers sit in the back, and the pilot on the left has I believe that they have the side to side piloting. Gunner on the right, the pilot on the right has the up and down piloting, and also has the hyperspace. And Jonna was so nice, and she let me sit there, and I got to pull the lever and move into hyperspace. It was so cool.
You punched it.
Yes, I did.
Love it.
Whoa, we did lose Nik.
We lost her. I'll try to get her back.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But anyway, there she is.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back.
All right. Awesome. Hey.
But anyway, the only issue really with the ride is that you really need to, if you don't come with a group of your own, then you it's the luck of the draw whether or not you have like any people with any skill piloting or gunning or engineering, and usually they're not that great. At least like the times when Jonna and I went on it, like the first time it was great, the other times not so much.
So Mike, I have a question for you. Is it like Mission Space where you have the navigator, but it goes no matter when you push the button, and
well, I mean, much like Mission Space, when it's time to push the button or pull the lever, whatever, it does like start flashing green. It seems pretty simple, but still people don't seem to know how to do that, which is weird.
Ride if they don't?
It does affect the ride actually, because say you have like TIE fighters flying around you, and the gunners have to aim and shoot. If they don't shoot it, then your vehicle takes more damage, and your score ends up much lower at the end. Much like with engineers, if they don't hit the buttons to repair the damage, your score ends up lower, and you don't get as many points at the end. And actually, if you score a high enough points towards the latter half of the ride, and John and I were able to do this the first time we rode it, there's actually an extended period of the ride. There's actually another part. So you escape from the city with the smuggler thing that you stole, and then you either go directly back to Batuu, or you get to fly around through I think an asteroid field for a while, and then go back to Batuu.
That's awesome.
So it pays to have people that can really do the ride and figure it out when it flashes. Press the button.
And if you have good pilots, you crash a lot less, thereby also taking a lot less damage. If the small children are piloting the beginning, you're going to crash a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I can't wait.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Extremely envious and jealous.
Mike, I thought the best picture I got was of Mike when he was standing in front of the Millennium Falcon going, pointing backward, just giddy.
I'm going to do the same thing.
That sounds awesome.
To see a life-size Millennium Falcon is really, really cool.
Unbelievable. Now, Mike, I don't want to take time away from anybody else. When you were there, did you do like Savvy's workshop or the droid builder, Jonna? Did you do those things when you were there?
I might have done a Savvy's workshop.
He did.
Nope. What does he got? Show it.
Hold on. This case
Was
is
it
very.
Books?
Come on. There we go.
That's unbelievable. How did you get it home?
Fully designed. Jonna was
UPS.
kind enough. Jonna was kind enough to mail it home for me.
Nice.
Oh, did the battery die? Oh, bother.
It's still very
is that
very jealous.
Wait, is that a gold handle?
Gold and silver, yeah.
Nice.
Well, this is
He
Savvy's
also
workshop.
got hunted down by stormtroopers who were carrying him.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they also said if there's a last Jedi, it's not you. I was like, oh,
That is awesome.
yeah,
That's really
and it's got a green kyber crystal in there, but you can actually order multiple different colors. You can buy them actually, and apparently, I just found this out recently. If you get a kyber crystal like a white one, there's like a slight chance that like when you turn it on and make motions, you actually hear like Ahsoka's voice. Or if you get like a red one, there's a chance you'll hear either Palpatine or Vader. And you can actually, so they actually have some kyber crystals that if you get a special one, they actually hear like if you get a green one, you can hear Yoda's voice. Blue one, you hear like Obi-Wan. It's really
Very
cool.
I'm so jealous.
Ah, damn it! I got Chick Fisto.
I need to get a new battery for this. Apparently,
Okay.
that's annoying.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject of Star Wars, I'll go next, and Todd, you can finish us off here with a ride that I'm sure we've all ridden, Star Tours.
Multiple times.
Oh yes.
Oh my God!
Every iteration.
This is easily a 2 to 3 per visit ride for me, because the line isn't nearly as long as it used to be when it first opened. But this is the first ride that really opened my eyes to the magic of Disney, more so than anything else. Because when we went to Disneyland in 1987, I was a teenager. I'm like, whatever. This is, it's good for kids stuff. It's good for kids stuff. I rode that ride, and I was just like, Milhouse playing the video game with his hair being blown back because he's playing Bonesaw.
Oh yeah.
Thrill House. Yeah.
Thrill How. It's Thrill How.
Thrill House.
Yeah. Bone Storm. That's the name of the game. And when we went for my daughter's birthday a few years ago, took her on it, got through the whole thing, and she was like, we are going right back around. We literally left and went right back in. I've never been prouder. But
By the way,
what
my
are you guys?
kyber crystal.
Oh, there it is.
What are your guys' experiences on Star Tours?
Well, Jonna got to be the rebel spy for once, and I've gone how many more times than you have, and I've never been chosen as a rebel spy.
It was the last trip I made to Disneyland before all of this began, and I got picked as the rebel spy.
That's
I've
great.
been wanting to be the rebel spy for years.
I went to.
I got the scan thing. I got like the scan thing. Human. Where is he from? Leominster.
I went to this park in 1989, November 1989. So this ride, I think, was open at that point, right?
It was.
But it wasn't Endor themed yet. They were still doing all that. So they had the Imperial Walker out there, just kind of in the middle of the street. And as a 4-year-old, I went under the foot of the walker and I held it up like this. And I have a nice picture of that with me and my brothers. And it's a really wonderful memory. I didn't ride this ride actually until 2005.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Every time I'm there, I need to get a picture of me running away from it.
And on the
The
speeder
best
bike,
part
right?
of it,
No, the speeder bikes are off to the side. They would line up in the photo.
Every time.
Oh yeah, you got to get your
I
photo
love
with
that
that.
I love that they keep updating the video, if you will, footage of it, because the most recent had from The Last Jedi. You got to go into the hull of the destroyed Death Star, and you got to be there for the final battle when everyone showed up. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen that one yet. And you got attacked by, I'm not sure if it was one Dianoga that was just very big or many Dianoga that sucked you under the water. And so you got to experience it. They just keep updating it with the newer films, so that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
And the last time they did it, Lando gave you your mission, so it was really nice to see him.
Oh, that's
Pretty
awesome.
How smooth.
That's awesome. Nick, how about you? What are your experiences with Star Tours?
I'm thinking about it, and I just Googled it. I don't think that I wrote it. I don't think that I got on. I don't think that I've ever done anything Star Wars related at the Disney parks, except for I've seen the stormtroopers outside and talk. When they talk to people and things, I've seen that, but that's it. And at the time that I went, I didn't know the significance of it, so I was just kind of like, oh, okay, Star Wars, cool, let's go and do this. So yeah, I didn't go. I didn't do it. Now, again, just like Toy Stories, I have like a brand new appreciation for it. So when I do go back to Disney, it'll definitely be something that I want to explore and have that experience. I don't even think I would have appreciated it, honestly, if I had done it before.
No, maybe. But yeah, it's so immersive. It's just so awesome. Just feeling, especially for the first time, and with me growing up with Star Wars, that just feeling the hyperspace pull when they're just taking the leap into hyperspace, and you just get sucked back in your chair, and it makes you forget you're on a ride.
Mm-hmm.
It really, truly does.
Yeah. Which is pretty amazing considering the ride mechanics. Like, I remember riding a virtual simulator of a roller coaster at the Cape Cod Mall when I was a kid. Same technology, right? The ride vehicle does this.
Yeah.
And this. And it's amazing how it holds up. Now, that being said, I haven't been to Galaxy's Edge and to see how technologically amazing those rides are. But Star Tours holds up for me.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. For a 35-year-old ride, it holds up really, really well.
Well, it also helps that they've updated it since.
Well, yeah.
And they constantly update it now.
Well, the loop of different, it's never the same experience twice, which is really cool. Yeah, I think the second time we went on that trip for my daughter's birthday was when Darth Vader came out, and you're just trying to back out, and he sticks his hand out, and you're just feeling yourself like, ah! He's just pulling until you could break away. And it feels so real. And, the implementation of the 3D helps with that too. But God, what a fantastic ride that is.
I'm always hoping that I don't get prequel scenes at all, like Kashyyyk and Naboo. Like, I don't want them. I want other stuff. I want better stuff.
I'd rather have the new stuff. Yeah.
One of the nice things too with it is the original had Captain Rex back when the ride originally started. And of course, now you have C-3PO, who was supposed to be fixing the ride, somehow triggered the automatic takeoff sequence. But
Yeah.
Captain Rex still lives on in Galaxy's Edge because he's now DJ Rex. Disney never throws anything away.
Yeah, if you go to Orga's Cantina, he's the DJ there.
Oh, cool. Is he still voiced by Paul Rubens?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
Fantastic. All right, Todd, take us home.
My pick for my favorite ride on Disney property is Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. I love this ride. I've ridden it more than any other ride in Disney because of single rider. It is one that I will always, if I have it to do a fast pass for me and then something for my party, I will do this. They will do something else, and we will just deal with it because I love this ride so much. It is that special to me. I love Aerosmith in general. Being from Massachusetts, I feel like you have to. But it's such a great thrill ride at a time when it was implemented at a time where there weren't many of those on Disney property.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep up with Universal, with SeaWorld, with their big roller coasters. And they did this indoor, with 2 inverted loops. That's crazy. Who would have thought? And the 0 to 57 mile an hour launch and things like that. Great soundtrack, great theming, the immersive record studio queue is great. The pre-show movie is great. And I feel like, it doesn't even need to be Aerosmith at this point. And at some point, I think they will get replaced, and it would lend itself easily to another musical act. So they've set themselves up well for that. But I love this ride. I love the gift shop. I everything about it. It's perfect.
I have to show you guys this picture because my son isn't tall enough to ride this one. It's the only ride in Hollywood Studios he was not tall enough to ride. So my daughter and I decided to do this one while they were doing the swirling saucers. And I don't know if you can see her face.
Yeah.
They captured the face perfectly because she's still getting her sea legs for roller coasters, and I was so proud of her that she volunteered to go on this with me. And there was the 15-minute explanation of who the hell is Aerosmith, and who's that old lady? Oh, that's Steven Tyler, honey. Did he do drugs? Honey, they all did drugs.
One of my favorite, and I think I mentioned this at some point. My mom went on. My mom hates roller coasters ever since that Space Mountain debacle when I was 4.
Yeah,
she went on this ride because I didn't lie to her. I just omitted the fact that there were 2 inverted loops and a huge launch for this roller coaster. So she had her eyes shut the whole time, and then we got off the ride. I'm like, "What'd you think?" She goes, "It was good." I'm like, and she was a 2nd grade teacher. She went back and told her class that she wrote it, and someone was like, "What about the loops?" And she goes, "We didn't go upside down." And they're like, "Yeah, twice. You went upside down twice." You lied to me. I'm like, "I didn't lie to you. I just didn't tell you that there were loops." Right. There's a difference.
It's a lie of omission.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because the second you enter, you walk through the gateway to get to that ride, the car is upside down.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You don't even notice them because it's all in the dark. You don't even notice the inverted loop. So
it's really intense and glowing.
No, and yeah, it's. But I'm with him. I love that ride. That is definitely a must-do for me. And I single rider it because, of course, couldn't get Mike on it to save our souls.
Mike, it's so good.
I do not go upside down.
It's not technically upside down if you don't know you're upside down.
There you go.
No. If you close your eyes and you're upside down, you're still upside down.
No. We're only omitting things from that.
I also love the fact that you get a different song every time you're on it, based on the car that you're in, the limo, the license plate. it's all Aerosmith themed, and you get a different set of tracks, and it's awesome. With the nice speakers and the headset, it's just it's perfect.
It is really cool how they have the whole ride set up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this again when my son is big enough to ride it, which should be, I mean, really any day now. I think he'll be tall enough to ride it, and it's just a matter of whenever we get back there. So, Nick, how about you?
Don't tell him about the loops.
What's that?
I said, don't tell him about the loops.
Yeah. He handles roller coasters better than anybody. He loves roller coasters.
Certainly better than me.
Yep. But Nick, how about you? What are your experiences with this one? Or do you have any experiences with this one?
Yeah, I've ridden this one. I also love Aerosmith. Aerosmith was one of the first concerts I ever went to. It's Steven Tyler. Moved the velvet rope. He came to the end of the stage where I was sitting, and he leaned down in my face, and literally, I've breathed the same air as him. So it's I've only ridden it once because I've only been to the park like twice. And my niece couldn't go on when I went the second time, and so we, I've ridden it, and since I only rode it once, Todd just taught me something. I didn't know that there was a different set of tracks each time you go, and I listen to anything Aerosmith, anything Aerosmith. So I would love to ride it again. And I think it's a great roller coaster because, like you said, in the dark, it's really, I don't know, it's so fast and it's in the dark. You really don't feel like, oh, I'm upside down. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm moving in the dark. So let me just go with it. You know what I mean? So
I feel like I'm going to lose my head on this dark roller coaster. So.
Yeah, no, because the headrest is really high up because they want to get your speakers on there.
Yep.
It's not like the rocket pods in Space Mountain.
Thank God.
But
I will say this ride is too short.
I was just gonna say that's my knock on the ride. The ride is less than a minute, I think, and it's just like I waited 45 minutes for that.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, I don't want to wait another 45 minutes.
That single rider line is a godsend for rides like that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. You know what? Had I known better, I would have never educated my kids into how awesome these things were, so I could just go on my own. But
so, Todd, you mentioned you think Aerosmith would be replaced. Who could you see them replacing it with?
I've been thinking about that since the first time I rode it. It was 2003.
Mm-hmm.
The ride was only 4 years old at that time, and even then I was like, oh, they could easily just switch that out for another band. I don't know who it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're perfect for that ride, and I love them. But I just wonder how long they'll be culturally relevant to the audience.
Yeah, I
think that the Foo Fighters would be good because I know that.
That's what I was thinking.
I knew it.
Dave Grohl has a really good relationship with Disney, especially with Henson. So that would be really cool. But I have heard that it might get remodded as an Iron Man roller coaster.
I'd take that.
No, they can't do that.
Oh, they can't do Iron. No, that's right. They can't do Iron Man.
Yeah, not east of the Mississippi.
Good Lord.
So crazy.
Wait, what?
What a crazy deal.
There's all right. So as you're aware, down the street there's Universal Studios, who has a bunch of Marvel characters in their parks.
I think it was in the either 80s or 90s when Marvel was having some major financial difficulties. They actually sold their rights to Universal for theme parks. I think anything east of the Mississippi, and they basically hold on to the rights in perpetuity until they decide they don't want them anymore. Disney,
they won't do. They're going to help.
There are very, very few Marvel characters that Disney can actually use in Florida, and they can't even use the word Marvel,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
but Universal has the big ones. They've got Captain America, they got Spider-Man, Iron Man, Wolverine, Hulk. But the beauty is that some of the more popular characters now are the ones that they never expected that they were going to be able to get on a
which is why there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster in Epcot.
That's why you can hit so hard on that. Doctor Strange is one they can use. I believe Black Panther is also one of those that they can bring in. Because
do it. It would be
great. I really feel like if you haven't seen him in the park, he's fair game. If you haven't seen him at Universal, he's fair game.
And what's also nice is that like they've introduced a lot of new characters in the last like 10 years that absolutely Universal doesn't have any access to. So Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, they can use. Spider-Gwen they can use. So like a lot of the newer, more obscure characters that will be coming into the movies, like She-Hulk, Moon Knight, they can use them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Porker, I'm in.
Yeah. What's it? What'd you say?
If they bring in Peter Porker, they have free reign, so they're building a more for the Avengers campus.
Nick, I was just gonna say, I want that Spider Ham meet and greet now.
Right? I want it so bad. I love pigs, and I love a spider pig. Okay.
My favorite part of that movie.
Hi, my hands just wet because I washed my hands.
And no other reason. Oh, what a fantastic movie that is. But yeah, no, that's the whole reason why. And it's interesting because we just actually watched a video on Marvel's Day at Sea, and they got all the characters. Okay. Because they're a little further east of the Mississippi, but they're also in the ocean. They're in international waters.
Yeah.
But I will be damned if they can find anybody who can actually look even a little bit like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Their Star-Lords all suck. They suck bad. They're all too skinny.
Yeah. Well, it takes time to bulk up.
Yeah. But anyway, that was Hollywood Studios. Hopefully, you've got a favorite ride in there that we covered. If not, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because we do this every week, folks. And I have found that being locked in my house for weeks on end has made me just want to put out more content. So, yay. So next week, we are going to finish off the parks with Disney's Animal Kingdom, which will be fun. And really, what used to be the half-day park is now the all-day park, unless you're my family, in which case the sun just got to us. It's 5:30. Let's go back and take a dip in the pool, kids.
Yeah.
Daddy's tired.
It gets hot fast.
So, again, Nick, thank you so much for joining us. I always love getting your input on this stuff. And tell our viewers where they can find all of your content.
Yes, well, thank you for having us. You can find our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. We haven't put anything out, and we probably won't until June, but then we're back full force. And that's Black Girls Do Stuff Too. And we're most active on Twitter. That's BLK Girls Do Stuff. And then everywhere else, we're Black Girls Do Stuff Too. Instagram, YouTube, blackgirlsdostuff2.com. Anywhere. Just look us up. We'll come up.
Awesome.
Also, there you go. Jonna is hanging out with Gamora there.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I knew I had a picture of you there.
Neat. So, well, Jonna, on that note, thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you. And Todd, as always,
for having me.
Yeah. Love having you on these conversations. And Todd, thank you so much for your expertise, especially I've never seen somebody so enthused about the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster. Not that it's not a great ride, because it is, but
it's such a good ride. You can't dissuade me from that.
And the soundtrack you have on vinyl, my friend.
I do. It's right over there. That's the A's right there.
Awesome. And you can check out our podcast, Geek Salad, at geeksalad.podbean.com, or wherever you get your podcasts, whatever app you use. We're on there. You can also check out our weekly content here on YouTube. But you can also follow us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio, on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. And you can also check out our TeePublic store at Geek Salad Podcast. So you can find all stuff like the lovely t-shirt that Jonna is modeling for us, as well as coffee mugs. And now we have PPE.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, personal protective equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought it meant something else for a second there.
Yeah, personal protection equipment. They actually are marketing masks, and it's weird seeing that show up on my Facebook scroll. It's like, yeah, I still wouldn't order that. So, my wife's been making masks for the last 2 months now. So,
I don't know if I want the Funko version of me right in front of my mouth.
I'm going to eat all of them.
You can voice your little character like in real time.
Well, I already do that in my head. Wait, all right, too much
time.
Didn't share that. Sorry.
Myself responding back to myself when I listen back to the show. It's crazy. So, until next week, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Todd.
He's still getting used to this. Go forth, be nerdful, and have a magical day.
Woohoo!
Bye.